the end of its descriptions. All the saints and all the sages, all the incarnations and all the prophets have been trying to extol and laud, L-A-U-D, this, and still that loud, or whatever way you pronounce that word, that hymn remains never ending. So as it lowers its volume for our sake, out of compassion and grace, like a mother bending down to pick up the child, that God consciousness bends down and becomes, what do you think it first becomes? What do you call your individual soul? Your Jivatman. Jivatman. But even that is a bit too high. Bends down further. Here we are raising our arms, but we just can't reach its height. We are singing its hymns, but they never come quite right. You're trying to connect with it, but as far as we can extend the hand, that hand still seems little farther. So out of compassion and grace, and these terms have to be defined yet, maybe at another time, because when you're speaking a language unfamiliar to you, then each term has to be defined. It must not be taken for granted that we understand the meaning of those words. Words like compassion, or grace, or infinity, or delimitation, and so forth. Just as we have just redefined the word consciousness. So it tones its volume further down and becomes next what? Who can tell me? You've been studying, your teachers have been studying for the last 36, 37 years here. What is the next toning down of the volume? Called the mind field. But mind field in itself is so vast. No one knows its end. The mind field is also, in the philosophy of yoga, permeates the entire universe. It's one single mind field. It's one single continuum. There's no particle in vast trillions of light years, vast spaces, which all fit in a single pinhead. There's not one particle that is not permeated by the mind field. It's a continuum between you and me, There's a continuum called the mind field. You are a little bubble in that field, I'm a little bubble in that field, you are a little bubble in that field, there's a little bubble over there, a little bubble over there, a little bubble. All this bubbling cauldron of the universe. And bubbles are all empty air anyway. All of us. Oh, what might and power we exhibit. Makes you cry. When you think of all this display of power. Once I was walking on the beach in a country called Maldives. The original name of that country was Maladvipa, the necklace garlands, because of the coral reefs. What is it called? Atolls. So I was walking on the beach. And there was a little crab on the beach. Oh, must have been about 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And there was another one. It's on a tangent, like you can think of the arm of a triangle, this side of the triangle. Another one which was maybe 1/4 of an inch. And a mighty emperor crab, full 2 inches. Came out of the water, made straight headway for this one who was sitting there, mighty lord, 3/4 of an inch big, to go challenge that one. And this other crab, 1/4 of an inch, saw this battle of the mighty giants going to happen. Didn't want to get hurt, picked up a shell and hid behind it. Picked up a shell with his claws and hid behind it. The mighty emperor crab, all 2 inches big, made a detour, gave one whack to the shell, and went on to challenge the real one he wanted to challenge. Whole world politics. Saw right there that mighty battle never came in any newspaper. We're supposed to talk about biofeedback. Get it all in perspective. Don't get carried away by all these machines, which I myself have purchased and introduced here. I'm creating a small little lab in India, in our ashram as well. So that infinite transcendence tones down its volumes, becomes a Jivatman, the universal soul of which you are again a particle. Tones down further, becomes the universal mind field. It's still too large, too big, too high, too mighty, too immeasurable. Tones down further, becomes the prana force, which is again a universal force. And becomes the bodily, physical force, the vital force which runs the whole body and all its highly complex organs. Imagine how many living organisms within this body, how many cells, how many mitochondria, chains of DNA and all of that.